You can hear me, Stephanie? I'm trying to be quiet. Setting up.
Are you doing a live right now?
They can hear you. I just set it up so it's on the countdown. You can sit here and keep me company.
How long are you gonna be?
Well, I usually I have from 11 to 12. Hey, Aracelis, good morning.
I can come back later, but it's
Oh,
not all the way dry, so I didn't put it in the press.
that's fine.
I'll come back. I'm getting my tires done.
Okay. Okay. I was hoping I was going to have this all done. I bought furniture and we've been putting stuff together to organize. I was going to impress you, but we're supposed to finish it today because I've got like a whole bunch of. I'm going to redo my office.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
since I want to talk to you, make noise, I'll
Yeah.
let you do this.
Okay. All right. Come back.
I'll see you later.
Good morning, everyone. Summer from Canada. You must be cold. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Good morning, friends. Thank you for hanging on there for me and sprinkling already. Aracelis, thank you so much. So I'm Leesa with Leesa Boone Designs. Today I am streaming actually on my personal Facebook page, on my business Facebook page, Leesa Boone Designs, and on the DIY Paint page, as well as my YouTube page. So a lot going on. I'm trying to do a few things here, so I'm going to take that off. Okay, so if you're new to me, I am a furniture artist. I'm a DIY paint retailer, as well as other products that I sell here locally in Madisonville, Kentucky, which is Western Kentucky, about 2 hours from Nashville. And lots of fun artisan type quality products. I talk about it a lot. I share stuff, and so I wanted to include my personal page. I really want to grow my business page. So if you're out there and you like crafting, you like art, mixed media, you like all of the things, go ahead and like my Facebook page and follow me. Also, I would love it if you are currently not on my email list. I want to grow my email list as well. I've been sending lots of gift ideas, inspiration. Also, our weekly podcast we send on our email. So if you're not on the email list, please send me a private message and or go on my website, leesaboondesigns.com, and subscribe to my mail list. You can also do it straight from Facebook. I have an actual tab, but however is easy for you, go ahead and get me your email address. I would greatly appreciate it. Good morning to all of my friends. No snow on the ground, Summer says in Canada. Temperature is nothing we are not used to. I understand. I do not like the cold, and I was from New York, and I'm not used to the cold anymore, and I don't like it. But right now in Kentucky, it's actually quite warm. I'm wearing this, what I'm wearing, and I did not have a jacket on this morning, so I'm quite happy. Good morning, Sheila. Okay, So one of my friends, Teresa from Arizona, right? Teresa, you're from Arizona. She sent me a message this weekend, and she wanted to learn how to make this specific ornament. And she's like, how do I do this? And so I was like, okay, so I watched the tutorial, or it was just like a little reel. She sent it to me. And I was like, okay, this is how you do it. Step one, step two, da da da. So then she sent me, she said, well, I found the full tutorial. Your steps seem to be a lot easier than the original tutorial. So I said, okay, you know what, maybe I'll do it on Tuesday. And so that's what I did. I prepared to do it. And this goes out to Teresa. And I happen to have a plastic ornament from my ornament workshop that I did a month ago or so. So I had a couple left. This is a flat one. You could use any one. You've been enjoying the emails, the gift ideas. Oh, thank you so much, Stephanie. I'm so glad that you're on there. It's hard to know who's on there and who's not. So this is what I did to prepare. Not very much. The only thing I did was I took a little bit of vintage linen, and I'm talking, I only have a little bit. I'm at the very, very bottom. But DIY paint is a clay-based paint. It is non-toxic. It only has 9 ingredients in it, and it is safe to use. It is amazing. This little bit can cover a lot. You'd be surprised, especially if we water it down, because when it gets to that bottom, you can see it's kind of thick. It's kind of thick already. And so we can water that down and do so many different things. So we have a product that really I don't talk about very often. I kind of had it on the shelf. And so when this came up, I thought this is a great opportunity to talk about it because it really is an amazing product. It's made by DIY Paint. They put it out maybe, I don't even know how long ago it was. It's over a year. I can't remember. But it's called paint frosting. And it is a thickening agent for paint. So I took like 2 little spatulafuls, so maybe less than a teaspoon because it was hardly anything. But do you see the texture? Do you see that? That is simply by taking a little bit of this paint and I added a drop. I love and use that color a lot. This is my go-to white. I absolutely love vintage linen. It's my go-to white. But do you see this? It's not going anywhere. I've been holding it up here for a while. This is amazing. So this little bottle is deceiving because you think, oh, you love getting my emails. Hey, Marsha. Thank you. You're on YouTube, sneaky. You're usually on Facebook. So this product, how many ounces? I'm trying to see. It's 2 ounces. A little bit goes a long way. Now, the instructions tell you to do it like several hours in advance and put like just a portion. I mean, it tells you, it's so tiny, I can't read. I don't have my glasses. I literally just put a drop. When I first started using this, like, okay, so I've had this for a bit. Can you see how much I have? It's up to here. I would put way too much in the beginning. You don't need that much, and you don't have to do it way in advance. Hey, Sandy, you can I did it an hour ago. What time is it? It's 11:06. Maybe an hour and a half ago, and it's drying out. And so, like, you see how thick it is? So this is the premise. This is what Teresa wanted to do. She wanted to make an ornament with decoupage. I wanted rice paper. I cannot find the rice paper that I had. It's the last one too, with the circles for ornament making. And so I was going to put a little thing on here and then work around it. So what I'm going to do is I grabbed my favorite neutral Christmas paper by Recycled. I have some available. Hey, Tammy. Welcome to YouTube, Marsha. That's awesome, Stephanie. Marsha's been following me for years, and so I'm very grateful to her. She doesn't live that far. She's in Indiana, right? Indiana or Illinois? Not far. So anyway, this is the paper. It's 20 by 30. I just love this paper. I think it's more, it's a winter paper. That's what I'm calling it. She called it a neutral Christmas, but this is really a winter paper. I love all of the fonts and the text. There is a polar bear here. I catch and watch you always on both. I got my package and I love all the journaling items. Oh, yay. I'm glad. I'm glad. So it's got this little stamp here. It's got this deer here. It's got the big deer with the buck with the rack. And so I've got the trees here. Hold on one second.
Okay, I'll just lay this up here.
Okay.
What you need, it's the room's 13 by 18.7, but for your field piece, you got to have a 12 by 25.7.
Okay.
Is what you charge the man for, 25.7 plus take up.
Okay.
He's going to move his own furniture.
Yeah, he told me that he would move the furniture. Okay. I'll get with him and I'll get with you.
So here you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Jackie called, Jackie French. He got an apartment he wants me to lay today, and I told him I had to get back with him. Would it be okay if I go lay at an apartment instead of going tax stripping the house?
Yeah.
Well, it don't. The house doesn't have to be tax stripped, but I just
Yeah.
want to get it.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So you'll do it tomorrow? The tax stripping?
I can.
Okay. Because it should be ready.
Oh, well, if
Yeah.
it's ready, we can do the whole house.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a one-day job.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right.
All right, so we'll just make plans to lay your house tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Have a blessed day.
Have a good day.
All right. All right. Sorry, y'all. Northern Indiana. Yeah, I knew you weren't far. Okay. So this is what I want to do. I'm going to take this paper and I'm going to take this little brush and I'm going to wet it. I can't find my other one that I normally use. And so I'm going to cut this out, okay? I'm going to draw a line. You may have seen me do this. This is how I cut my paper so that I get it exactly how I want it. And I'm going to just go all the way around this bird. And I like the organic edge, and it's easier to cut when it's wet. You could cut it dry, but you can get a more precise cut if you cut it with the water. Oh, that wasn't even wet. Okay, I barely have any water in there. See that line? So it just makes it so much easier. And then I hold it where I don't want it. Like if that water spreads a little bit too much for me, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it out. And so this is my little cutout of that bird. The other thing that when I looked at the ornament that we're, being inspired by, it had glitter on it. So instead of glitter, we're going to use an embossing pen. So stay tuned. We're going to use an embossing pen and we're going to use embossing powder to make it really, really special. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw a line here. And of course, scraps are gold, right? Especially when you're in the ATC world. So I'm just going to save this little piece of ephemera here. It's like a little ticket with some writing. I just love the writing. I don't mind if some of the writing comes through. I definitely don't like edges. You almost can't even see where the wing ends. Okay. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut a little bit more into this. I think. Normally I don't care. Let me see if I can do it carefully. So let me know where you're watching from if you haven't already, and let me know what the weather's like, what you're doing. I'm going to go ahead and put this here. I'm going to try a new technique for decoupaging that I haven't tried ever. I've only just seen it. Hey, Cynthia Watts. How are you doing? Cynthia Watts is our local radio girl. Can I call you that? Even though we're the same age, but I call myself a girl. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. It would be best if you had like a stick. This is too big, but I don't have one. I don't have like a big, maybe this one. Like if you have, and you can tape it, it just makes it a little bit easier, but we're just gonna go with what we have. WTTL, why'd you write WTTL? I haven't tried embossing yet. It looks so fun. I love embossing. Okay, so DIY paint is, like I said in the beginning, it's a clay-based chalk style paint. You can adhere, it will adhere to almost anything. See this? This is one of the things that Teresa found my little steps a little bit easier, because when you use other paints, you may have to use a primer if it's a slick surface. You don't have to do that with DIY paint. So, oh, that's where you're watching from? You're at WTTO? Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, we have 3 local radio stations by the same company, and I love this radio station here, and they are awesome. That's where Cynthia, for those of you who have heard me talk about this with the podcast, I said the radio girl asked me, or the radio station, I said, the radio station asked me and my husband to do a little thingy. And that's how our podcast was created, is because of Cynthia. So everybody say thank you, Cynthia. I'm going to go ahead and get this to dry. When I did the ornament workshop, let me just tell you that I was filthy using, giggle, when I was filthy using my hands to hold it, because I did not have a little stick to put it in. But it does make it easier if you have a little dowel and some tape, a lot easier. But this is super, super fun, and I think it's going to be, there we go. All right. Now I can come over to this way. Just when you're using a heat gun, be careful, because you can burn yourself. You can burn yourself. So, and DIY paint, you see how it's drying a matte finish? It doesn't have a sealer in it. It doesn't have any plastic or latex or anything toxic at all. And that's why I love it. So if you care about, clean living and non-toxic, especially if you're a crafter and you're painting a lot, this doesn't have any acrylic. It doesn't have anything in it at all. There's only 9 ingredients. And so it just makes life easy, especially if you're touching it, and if you're using it a lot. That kind of stuff actually matters. I never used to know that it mattered. Okay, this is still a little bit dry. A little bit wet. I didn't know how important it was, because when you actually touch things, it actually goes into your body. And so that's why it's important to use products that are safe. Kids can use this. You can finger paint. We've done that so many times. It's so much fun. So Stephanie said in Central California, let's see, what is she saying? Sunny, watching you, thinking about the candy canes I'm trying to make with trim molds. So the rest of the message is, I tried to make them 2-sided with resin. What a mess. 1-sided it is. So I'm going to show you something here in a second. What happened? Why did you make a mess, Stephanie? So when you do the 2-sided, you make your first resin mold first, then you fill the cavity in. I always wait just a few minutes to let it set up a little bit, and then I place my other mold on top of it. And if you're going to use like a string or something, that's the time to put that in and then set it, and then it just forms into one shape. Okay, so let me show you this. I use the heat, and there was a little bit of texture there. Can you see that? When you use heat with DIY paint, let me go, that's this way. You see that? You can actually get some texture, which is what we're wanting, so that's not a bad thing. And I never think texture is a bad thing. Sheila said, I've had a problem using DIY paint on plastic ornaments. It seems to peel off while I'm painting and leaves clumps. I'm probably not explaining this well. Does thickening the paint help? I've never had that problem, Sheila. I have painted all kinds of plastic things, and I've never had it not stick. Your first coat is kind of like a scratch coat, so you want to apply it thinly. I don't even water it down. Even though it's thick, it was thin enough, and so I just painted it. And you can see it's not peeling. Now here, it created some texture because I was using the heat gun. You also have to be careful that it will misshapen your ornament. Okay, so let's get started. This is what I'm gonna do. I've never done this before, but Royce does this. I'll try waiting. They slid over and were uneven. Yeah, when it's sopping wet, it's going to spill over, but it's not lost because it's as if you can get a blade, like a little X-Acto knife or one of those arts and crafts blade, you can cut around it and swivel all around that and remove the excess. So I think that you can salvage it. I think you can. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wet this paper. I forgot that this one like just goes on for days. Okay, see how that paper is wet? It's going to be moldable to get on here. So I'm going to go ahead and so to go back to Sheila's question, if you do have trouble, you can thicken it. You can use something to texturize the paint if that makes you more comfortable. Absolutely, you can. I'm going to wet my brush because I always wet my brush when, I'm just going to hit it here a little bit, when I'm using top coat or decoupage medium. So I'm just going to, of course, it was too much. So I'm just going to take off some of that excess. All right, we're going to use DIY Paints liquid patina for decoupaging because why? It's the best. That's why. It is the best. All right, so you could, I probably applied a little bit too much water on here. I wonder. I could have done this also. Applied my medium directly onto my paper. Y'all, I've never done this. Hopefully it works. I'm supposed to be teaching you, right? But you learn what not to do also through me because I make mistakes all the time. I did that with the blades. Those will be mine to keep. My neighbor is selling them for me. You could also like maybe put some, like glue some ribbon, some glitter ribbon or something like that on there. That might work. All right. So now I'm going to take, see, it's stuck on here. Good morning, Chrissy's Creation. See how it's stuck here? So it gives me the flexibility. Like I said, I've been wanting to try this. This is new. I've never done this technique before, but Royce, I don't know if she came up with it, but she teaches it. And she knows all things about decoupaging. I can't really see. I'm just gonna see if I can get this. And I don't know if I should have used a skinnier paper. I don't know. Okay. I'm just gonna let that come off. You have to be gentle with your paper when it is wet because why? It will tear. Because of course I wet it. I should not be using my hands. But it's working. You always, just be extra, extra careful. And usually I moved it. I'm going to see if I can get it up. Okay. I moved it and it wrinkled up. But usually when you do it this way, it doesn't wrinkle. So I'm going to have to practice that a little bit. And I think it's better if maybe you use saran wrap. Learn as you go. That's right. That's right. That's right. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to seal, not seal it. I'm going to, listen, it's all about fun. It needs to be about fun. This is why we do things. It's to de-stress. It's to have fun. It's to enjoy, right? Nothing is perfect. Only the Father in heaven is perfect. So we shouldn't try for perfection. We should just strive for pretty. Pretty, 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 right? So I took off some of the paint right there. That's okay. because I was gonna go through and paint another coat anyway, but I wanted to get my decoupage on first. Softer wrap works for me, yeah. I didn't have any here, and I knew that I would probably be pushing it by using a thick, but it did work. But a softer wrap would work better, like a saran wrap. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to paint in here. All right, and I didn't paint in here. So when I did the workshop for the ornaments that I did, they're over here. I can show them to you in a second. I painted the tops, and I think this one will work. Yeah, I painted the tops with Posh Chalk Gold, and so I thought that's perfect. So, all right, so here we go. We're gonna add, I took a beat up brush. This is where we're probably gonna get messy. So in this tutorial, she had a lot of texture all around. So I want you to notice, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. I need this off. Maybe I can just do this here. I'm going to, no, I need, let me, okay, I'm gonna zoom in. Okay, I want you to see the texture. Oops. Okay, so now that's coming off. It called me a liar. And that's because it was already cracking. But typically, that would not happen. So we're creating some texture, like some snow. And this is already drying because I didn't, normally when I do this, I actually close it. And I just let it sit there. And if you, I forgot that was wet. If you close it up, you can use it for a few days. Oh, I forgot that I zoomed in. So see how it's creating texture? This is the, to me, when it first came out, I think one of the first things that Debbie Beard did was snow. And I thought, oh, you know, I wouldn't have even thought about that because I don't really do crafts like that, and especially wintry things, themed things. Some I don't usually, unless it's like sunflowers because I love sunflowers. But I don't like decorate my house like theme wise, and so I thought, oh, this is perfect. So as soon as I saw Teresa's little video with the texture and the snow, I was like, oh yeah, that's easy. We're gonna use paint frosting. And so I'm just gonna get in there and I'm going right on the paper even. And you don't have to do all of the area. You can just do a little bit. And of course, I probably have way too much for this one little ornament. There's my friend. I gotta wave at him. Hold on. He's so cute. My husband the other day was like, there's your boyfriend. I was like, yep. He gets excited too when he sees me, he waves. He's just a neighbor walking his dog every day around this time. An older gentleman. He's really sweet. I need to go outside one day. I keep saying I'm going to bring dog treats and I keep forgetting. All right, so I'm at, okay, we're doing good with time. I forget to check sometimes. Great idea for creating the snow. Love the texture you're creating. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I think it's so much easier. And then, you know, depending on the brush that you're using too, will make a difference. Like if you have softer bristles. So I'm just going to see how I'm getting in there and I'm just covering up whatever is the paper that is not the wing. And I'm going to be careful. Like I wish I had a thinner brush because I want to cover up the text. Normally, I always want text. But in this scenario, all right, I'm going to cover it up. So we could put a little snow on him. Okay. I'm not going to do the back side so that this way I can, I wish I had something to lay this on. Maybe the DIY paint can so that I can dry it. All right. So you could use that for raised stencil. Ding, 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 ding. Yes, you can. Yes, you can use it for raised stenciling. That's how I've typically used it because it gets super, super thick. It can, you know, and it's, you saw, I mean, this is not, it's not dripping. It's not going anywhere. And if you wanted more texture, I think, because I thought about this, because I always like a two-tone, and I thought about painting it a different white underneath, like tarnished pearl, and then adding the snow. I think that would have been really cool to do so that you could see some dimension, but don't be shy about maybe adding a second layer. So let's see what this looks like. So I want to thank you guys if you're watching on even replay. Let me know that you watched. If you sprinkled, you know, let me know. Just put hashtag replay. I'm going to add a little bit more here, a little bit more texture. You know, I really should have done this as on my tutorial. I'm going to show you the workshop that I did. I did it with my friend. It was a collab with 12 of us. There was 12 of us. I'm going to sit this here. I'm going to grab it. I think I showed it to you. Maybe I showed it before. But just to show you how different you can do ornaments. Hold on, some of them fell. I'm just going to let that sit there for a second. See, this is, I've got this bowl, they're going to fall, of ornaments. Now, I added texture on these, and so I wanted to show you these because I want to show you the difference. Like, I decoupaged these, but I did it in a different way. And then I added, this is the product that I started talking about last week. And I said, hold on to your britches, wait till you see what I'm going to do. And then somebody came in and I had to, quote unquote, hang up. I am in the process of putting this stuff on my website. So I'm going to be sending an email out shortly. It takes so long to get products in. And so I've got a whole bunch of embossing powders, but now I'm going to do this this spray. As soon as I get off, I'm going to be doing this. So thank you, Summer. Yeah, these were a lot of fun. But what I could have done is I could have added the paint frosting for a totally different look on some of these. So these were all done the same exact way with the same exact products, but they all came out just a little bit different. And I love that this one is cracked. It looks so old. It looks vintage. But you could totally do these. This is velvet powder, and it doesn't look the same on screen as it does, but it came out, I mean, it feels like velvet. It is really, that's the only one that I did different. Well, there was a white one. This one has velvet powder on it. And then I started changing it up. But anyway, so you could add molds to it, and that's what I wanted to show you. There's so much that you can do with this stuff. I'm going to move this over here. Okay. I think, I don't want to get this on myself. I came home with gold on. You're impressed? Yeah, thank you. It's so easy. Now, this brush is nasty. I'm not going to use it again, so I'm going to put it right in my water. And I'm going to make sure that I, get some of that out because that will harden your brush. I'm going to go ahead, just in case if I decide, see how thick this all is? Look at that. You can definitely raise stencil with that. Oh, good. I'm so glad. I love giving you guys ideas. You guys give me ideas all the time. And again, this is because my friend Teresa sent me a message. She actually, well, she texted me Saturday. Okay, is this dry? No. Let me hit it. Let me hit it. Let me hit it. All right, so for this next step, this has to be completely dry because I'm going to be using embossing powder. And so you want this to be completely dry so that the embossing powder does not stick to anything. Oh, thank you, Marsha. Thank you. Those came out so good. I'm actually going to sell the bowl with all the ornaments because they're just sitting here. So I did them just for the workshop that we did. So I'm going to have them available. And I just think that they're great all year round because it's not, I purposely did not make them Christmassy. I made them just, ornament balls. And some of them are actually styrofoam. And some of them are like these, like the flat ones, and then some of them are round. So they look great just sitting, on a bowl or like a vase. Hello, my friends. Hey, Steven. Hey, Patience. So, all right. So any of these products can be found on my website, which is leesaboonedesigns.com. So again, we're going to make sure that this is nice and dry. I'm going to let it cool down a little bit. And just a reminder, please be careful with the heat, especially if you're using plastic. You can, change the shape of them a little bit, get them a little bit deformed. Okay, so these are the embossing powders that I have. I have a whole set that I just picked up from someone that I'll be selling. So I really should use those, but I don't have that many right now, and so I'm going to use what I have here. I have some of these on my website. I've been selling through them. I can't get these anymore. This is the Ranger brand, which I love. I had a company that I was getting them from, and they went out of business. So I'm going to take a cardstock. This is how I like to do it. I'm going to take a cardstock and we're going to put the excess back in. I'm going to put this to the side so I don't mess up. So this is just gold, and I chose gold. You could choose any color, but I chose gold because the top is gold. Okay, so I'm going to take the paint pen. Is that workshop on your page to watch, or do you have to join a private group? It was a workshop that, it was a collaborative workshop. The 12 of us came together and we sold, it was a paid workshop, and you got the 12 different ornaments on there. And we had advertised it for several weeks. So I'm just going to outline this, just funky, like jaggedy, kind of like a feather. Just the outline of it. And that's just kind of how it was. She used a glitter pen in that tutorial that we're replicating, or being inspired by, because it is totally different. We're being inspired by. So I'm just going around with my embossing pen. And hopefully this comes out good. Like I said, I've never done this. I'm just trying to help Teresa out. She asked me how to do it, and this is how I would do it. Yeah, that's an embossing pen. Isn't that cool? I have to see if there's a way to get that workshop. I don't know if I can ever, or if I'm tied to that group, or if I can, I don't know. I have to ask. So I'm going to go ahead and just pour this on here. See this embossing powder? We're just pouring it on. This is why I have that cardstock here. Yeah, it's an embossing pen. I didn't know they had that. Chrissy says, yeah. So me either at first till I got one. And I absolutely love it, because one of the things that I did was, like, you could write your name, you can write the year. So we can do that. Well, let's try that. Oh, I didn't put any here. I skipped a spot. And I kind of wish it was a little bit thinner, but we're learning, we're playing, and we're learning, and it's okay. It doesn't, remember, only the Father in heaven is perfect. There's nothing else perfect. We're just having fun. So we're going to take the excess away. I'm going to move this. I'm going to take my embossing powder. I absolutely love working with embossing powder, and I'm just going to pour it back in. So do you see how little we used? So I've got a lot left there. All right. So now, look, barely touched anything. We barely touched anything. I do remember that workshop you were doing but didn't join. It's okay, Marsha. I know. I'm sorry. It's hard to join all of the things. You know, it's hard to do all of the things. I'm just going to put this here. I really want you. Let me see how close I can go. Ooh, that's pretty close. That's perfect. I wanted you to see what happens. If you've not tried embossing powder, get ready. I just love it. So I'm going to, again, need to be careful because we're talking about plastic here. Oh, and it's caving in. It's caving in. I need to go a little bit out, further back. Because the plastic is going to melt. So we just need, and we can get that, we can push that back. It needs the heat to melt. So let's just see what happens. There we go, there we go. It's happening. And that might not be a bad thing. That it's like, it's getting like a weird shape to it. Do you see that? So you want to do that all over. Or maybe you don't want to outline it. Maybe you just want to add dots. Maybe that would have been better. Like it is caving. It's caving. I got too close. There we go, there we go. Alright, let's see if I can. It needs the right amount of heat. Oh, this one needs, I'm just going to do it real quick. Okay. We're going to let that cool. Some of these got misshapen and they, because when I was drying it, because of course I was doing it very, very fast, and they came back. And so I'm not worried too much about it. And then you can, oh, it's hot. So I'm going to let that sit there. All right. Let's get a bird's eye view, because you never want to make a judgment on something. And so we're going to want to, it's still hot in there. I can push this out a little bit. Let's see. No, I need something bendable. But I think the idea can work. It will work. But see how it's got that gold all around? I think for like it would have been nice to have like drops. And I even have like, especially with the new embossing powders that I have, they're already on my website. They're actually there. I love watching your live today, but sadly I have to go to an art class. I'll watch the rest on replay. Thank you. Thank you, Summer. Have fun in your art class. That sounds like a lot of fun. Then you get to actually play. I have, this is clear. This is not what I wanted. I actually, with the new one, see like this one is a pearlescent one. That would have been cool for the snow. The new ones that I have, they're right here. Which is the ones, okay. So I have these. Wait till you see these. I've never seen anything like that till I bought them from her, and look. Do you see the different colors? Usually I get embossing powder and it's one color. So this is a 3-tone color, I believe. And it has like black, white, and gold in it. So that's one. Then look, this one has purple and gold. Can you see it? So all of these, they're only $4.30. They're on my website right now. Look at this one. So the sprays that I use to do this, those, as soon as I get done, those will be next on the website. Look at that. Are these amazing or what? So, I mean, I've got more. I've got another little box. Look at this. I think this is emerald, right? Yeah. Midnight emerald. So it's got like black in it, but it's green. Can you, I don't know if you can see it properly. Yeah, these colors are so much fun. So I think like this is gonna make crafting super, super fun. Even like the light colors are super pretty. So I've got another box that I still have to, these are the ones that still need tags. I have another box that I've already put tags on so that I can get them on the shelf. But they're all on my website. They're under Lindy's. I have a collection called Lindy's. Okay, let's see if I can salvage this a little bit. See, it's already starting to pop. It's already popping out on its own as it's cooling, actually. I can see a big difference. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to let that sit there because it's kind of coming up a little bit. But I think it could be salvaged. All I got to do is put some liquid patina under there. So I'm going to just let that sit there. So it's not a total fail. I think, you know, a lot of times everyone thinks everything has to be exactly perfect. But you learn from everything. And so this would be really, really good. Making sure you have the heat gun far away and take your time and do like little dots all over. That would be great. Or if you have like these wood ornaments I did, you could do the white snow with them. Like this would be wood. Like I actually did emboss these. So this is the paper that I was originally trying to find, and I still have a few that I could do, but they're from Decoupage Queen. And these are just wood slices, and then I decoupaged them. I painted them white. I decoupaged them, and then I added, with the pen, I added the embossing pen. I just went around and then added the glitter, the gold, I mean. So that's a lot of fun. And then you could actually, oh, I already dipped my thing. This would be so cool, like on the edges, if you put some of that white from the paint frosting. So that paint frosting is really great. And again, this is just a small little bottle. It's only 2 ounces, but a little bit goes a long way. I really wish I could read that. I only put a drop, like a drop in this little container. And you can see like there's still a good bit left. I used to make the mistake of making too much of it. Yeah, you're gonna need an embossing pen. I love it because, like, again, you can, okay, let me just show you. This is not DIY paint related, but let me show you. I'll show you right here. Let me see. What can I write? I'll show you. This is so, so cool. I'm drawing a blank. Here, I'll do this. Okay. So I just wrote something. I'm going to take my embossing powder. I'm going to cover it up. I missed a few spots there. You want it to be full. So if it's paper, I usually tap it. I absolutely love embossing on paper. I've done a few signs with it. It's super, super fun. And I'm gonna wrap this up here in a second. But I did some stuff in script, you know, I just wrote something. But look at this. I need to take that from the table too. I have plastic tablecloth here. Do you see how fast? But it goes really fast when you have direct heat, which is the one thing that this didn't like. And do you see that shimmer? So you can do anything. So if you're doing hand tags, oh, I'll show you. I have some tags here, and I think I embossed them. I stamped them with IOD stamps. I had a gift wrapping workshop here. I still have this out here because I thought about doing it again, or having more time. Let me see. Okay, this one. So I just did in silver. I used this stamp pad, which is this is my washi tape. The Versamark. It's just watermark stamp pad. I have this available on my website. I have several kinds, not that brand, but I have several on my website. And then I stamped it with the IOD stamp. This is the Merry and Bright stamp. And then I added my embossing powder and then just heat it up. And you can feel it. Like, you can feel it versus just the regular stamping. See, there's a big difference. Yeah. Yeah, look. I have some bookmarks right here that I also did. I haven't put these bookmarks on my website yet. I need to, but I stamped them. I can't remember what stamp I used, but I stamped them with IOD stamps, and then this one I did one color and then another color, and so just added a little bit of gold on it. I think I did black and then I added a little bit of gold by myself. Like, I didn't use that two-tone stuff. But yeah, so you can definitely paint. I painted them. I think I used tarnished pearl maybe on this one. And I might have used vintage linen. And then stamped it. And then I didn't seal them though. See how matte they are? You don't have to seal DIY paint if you're going to use it in this kind of scenario. Like, you know, if it's furniture, you want to seal it. If it's something that you're going to be touching or home decor. But like for these little bookmarks, like if you're going to give it as a bookmark though, I would seal it with, you can use, like, let me show you. Liquid patina. So this was one of the examples that I had, and that was with the embossing powder as well. So this is liquid patina, which dries like the wax. So it dries like a matte color, a matte finish. Yeah, that is tarnished pearl. Do you see how different it looks when from wet to dry? And then once this dries, it will level out just a little bit and give you a little bit of a different color. But this is unsealed and sealed, and so you can see the big difference. So the paint becomes a lot more vibrant, and you can see the highs and the lows a lot of times because DIY paint is a clay-based paint. So especially if you burnish it, like if you take a little bit of brown paper and you burnish it, like there's just so much that you can do with DIY paint. I just absolutely love it. So yeah, you can definitely emboss. So all of the products that I used today can be found on my website. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Again, this is a game changer, paint frosting. Definitely have not used it enough, and we need to talk about it more because it's really, really amazing. So if you have any more questions about that, don't hesitate to ask. And I'm going to find out about the workshop tutorial, how that goes for Marsha. Will the embossing still shine after you seal it? Yeah, it will shine. It will take a little bit, like, it's best to seal it and then stamp it and then do the embossing if you want it to remain very, very shiny. Now, these are still very shiny because I sealed it with a top coat. So you can see it's shiny. So the decoupage medium dries a little bit matte, but it will still have a little bit of shimmer to it. But do you see that's the difference. So this is top coat, this is decoupage medium, which has a little bit of top coat in it, but it's not shiny, it's not satin. So that's the difference. But yeah, but you'll be able to see it. Here, I'll heat this up real quick. I have a few minutes. And there's a spot where I didn't seal, so you'll be able to see. You can see the difference. I'm going to show you something too that I just noticed. A lot of times when I'm using embossing powder, I'll leave some of the residue. Remember I said your project needs to be completely dry before you use the embossing powder. If you get embossing powder like where you don't want it, what you want to do is get a little brush and then just brush it off and just clean it off like that and just brush it off before you hit it with the heat gun. I left this here on purpose and because I liked the way that was there, kind of splattered. And so you can see that we still have some sheen there. It's not as bright as this one because this is unsealed, but I sealed this with, kind of like a matte finish. I mean, there has a little bit of a sheen on there, but not what if you did it with Big Top, it would be more like this. See, there's more of a sheen on here. The satin sheen, you can see it kind of when the light hits it versus this. This is more matte. But you can still see the embossing powder. So it doesn't hurt anything. It doesn't hurt anything at all. This is just a lot more shiny. But you don't, it's up to you. The only thing is, if you stamp over your sealed surface, you need to be really careful. You have to make sure you don't shift because you'll get that double like double vision, like a double stamping. And so when you hit it with the embossing powder, that's going to be kind of messy a little bit. So you'll definitely have to, go through and like clean it up. That would take a lot of work. You could do it, but I typically like to stamp directly onto DIY paint because the chalk and the clay absorb the ink or the watermark, and then you quickly put it on there and it's clean, crisp, and I don't have to worry about shifting. So it'll shift on you if you're not careful if you seal it. So the pros and cons. What's the product that you use to get the finish on those ornaments? Oh, this has paint on it. All right. I'll let the cat out of the bag. It's 1 o'clock. Oh my gosh. Okay. I've got to hurry. This. But I've got some by themselves. So this is powder. Can you see that? It's just powder. You add the water to it and then shake it and then you spray it. I love this because it's just powder, so it's very lightweight for shipping. I thought this was genius. And then you just add your water. And whenever you're adding water, use bottled water because tap water will mess up after a while your stuff. You get bacteria and it'll spoil. So definitely use tap water. Don't use tap water. So there's a whole bunch of different colors. So you're seeing it first here, y'all. Let me see. And this was, let me see. There's a couple of different pink ones. I mean, there's just different. I have a whole bunch. I'm trying to see what's different. UFO yellow. That must be like a neon yellow, I'm assuming. I haven't tried that one. I used blood orange. It was called blood orange. I have a few pink ones, so it's hard to. This one is Martian magenta. I mean, there's all kinds of colors. But do you see? Oh, okay, wait. Oh my gosh, hold on. Let me show you this. I am going to be working on a journal. So I have a journal making kit on my website, and I've been selling them. I'm gonna make a couple of more. So anyway, this paper is the paper that the transfers come on. So I always keep them. When I did the tutorial for this, I needed to spray this, and I was at my desk, recording every step. Can you see this? I took this paper and I had it on my desk so I wouldn't get it everywhere. Do you see that? Is that not gorgeous? And I was like, I can't throw this away. This is absolutely gorgeous. What am I going to do with it? I don't know, but I can't throw that away. And look at that. I was like in love. So I made an envelope. I made an envelope out of the transfer paper. And I was going to put this in the journal I'm making. So the journal kit is on my website, and I'm going to be doing a tutorial mid-December showing how I'm going to use it. I've bought more papers. They finally just came in. Then I went to Hobby Lobby this weekend on Friday, and I got some papers. I guess they are like alcohol inks in a way because of what you see, but they're not. They're not. It's just this shimmer shadow mist. This called, or starburst spray, I guess is what it is. It's some kind of a powder, and it's just like the embossing powders. It has that. All of them have that shimmer, and I mean, look at that. Especially when the light hits it, like the certain sections that. This is one color. I got this off of one color. There we go. I mean, look at that. So much fun, right? So that's how I made these. Some are more intense than others. But I go through it all in the tutorial, so I can't give it away. But anyway, so much fun. So these will be available today on my website. The embossing powders are already there. And anyway, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Like I said, that journal is there. The DIY paint, everything is on my website, leesaboondesigns.com. And I try to ship pretty quickly. I don't want to miss a tutorial for the journal. I'm going to be posting it and emailing it. So again, if you're just coming on, if you're not on my email list, please go on my website and subscribe to my emails, or just send me a message. However you're watching, wherever you're watching from, send me a message and tell me your email that you want to get emails. I'm trying to build my email, my husband. And so anyway, I hope that you guys have an incredibly blessed day. I have a whole bunch of gift ideas. I created a few bundles on my website for DIY paint. I always say, people will ask me, like, what color should I start with? You should, if you're going to start and you want like a few different colors, I recommend 5 colors. A black, a white, which we have several whites. We have 2 different blacks. And then a red, a blue, and a yellow. So I have a basics bundle with black velvet, vintage linen, bohemian blue, kissing booth, and queen bee. Use those 5 colors and you can have a multitude of colors. You could just make so many. And because you're using kissing booth as the red and bohemian blue as the blue, you can make beautiful purple colors. Then I have another kit called the traditional. It's black, it's little black dress and white swan. So like the darkest and the lightest. And then Hey Sailor, marquee for the red, and cake batter for the yellow. And so, like, if someone wants that, or if you want that, you can ask for that. You can put it on your wish list. You can get a gift card on my website. So there's all kinds of different ways that you can get your goodies if that's what you're asking for. So anyway, and of course you can get these, put them on your wish list and send that to somebody.